Today I'm here to tell you 5 reasons why raising kids at an eco-village is the ultimate parenting hack. Being a mom in this day and age is so difficult. We all know that old phrase, it takes a village to raise a child, but there's no village. Well, there is a village, and I know because I live there. I live at an eco-village, and there are eco-villages, intentional communities, co-housing all around the country, all around the world. There's more popping up every day, and it may be possible for you to live in one of them or create one of them. So listen up if you want to know the top 5 reasons why this could change your life. And if you don't know me, I'm Julia. I am a mom to 2 girls. I am a therapist, and I am a total cheerleader for Eco Village community living because it is an absolute game changer for living the kinds of life you want to live as a mom, where you can love your life, you can feel really good as a parent, you can feel really good about the world, the microcosm, I'll say, that you're raising your kids in, and you can actually feel connected to yourself and your purpose in the world. So let's jump in. Reason number 1. You may not believe me, but here it is. No play dates. No play dates. I'm talking no scheduling play dates, no driving to play dates, no sitting and drinking tea and chatting for 3 hours so your kid can have a friend. But you don't need play dates because your kids are playing all the time. They are doing that old-fashioned thing that I know I did when I was a kid, where you just knock on a friend's door and ask if they can play. And that means sometimes they can hang out for 15 minutes, or sometimes they're there all day and your friend feeds them, or sometimes they're at your house all day, which can be really fun and sweet. And your kids get to have this robust life with lots of friends and working through the complexity of friendship without you having to micromanage their life and their schedule and make all your weekends and all your free time when you're not dealing with their activities about setting up play dates so they can have friends. Really, my kid will wake up in the morning and run off to somebody's house and be out adventuring, and they swing through our house and play, and they just have this kind of flow of life that I think all of us really want our kids to have. Reason number 2, you get to have a social life of your own. And living in an eco-village makes it really, really easy because there are lots of opportunities for connection. First of all, everyone lives close together, and so you pass by your neighbors all the time, and you have committees and groups, and you make things happen in the village. And as you do that, you're building relationships. And the ways that we contribute are the ways that we want to contribute. For some people, it's meetings and boards, and for other people, they would hate doing that, but they're out gardening or they're working with the community meals. And all of these, you have opportunities to build relationships, and they fit into your life so easily and seamlessly. And as adults, we have needs for all kinds of relationships. There are deep friendships you can build with people here, whoever you really click with. But also there's people that you can just have collaborative relationships with, or friendships that exist on all different levels. Show up for each other when you need to grieve, when people are struggling, and also to celebrate joyful events. For me, my life is so rich. And if I had to create all of these relationships and all of these connections out in the default world, it would be impossible because it just would take too much time. And especially as a parent, I do not have that time. I also get to meet my needs for contribution because I am contributing in all these different ways to my community and use my skills and use my talents. And again, it all just fits seamlessly into life. Okay, on to reason number 3, community meals. Okay, for real, 2 to 3 times a week, there are meals happening in my community. Every community is different. Sometimes it's just once a week, but generally community meals are a very central part of what it's like to live together in community. So that means that neighbors, and I was on the cook team at some point, but I'm not now, come together and plan and cook beautiful, delicious, nourishing, mostly organic meals. We have a couple farms here, and so a lot of times in the summer, the produce is coming straight from the farms. And they seriously make this food with love. I'm not just going out to a restaurant. Not that I don't love restaurants, I do, but They are making this food to nourish us as a part of our extended family. And then guess what happens? Well, during the meal, first of all, you're having more of that social time. So you're getting to tell stories and connect with neighbors and build relationships. Your kids are playing. They're playing in the playroom, or when the weather's nice, they're running around outside and playing soccer. I have a toddler, and I can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, where'd she go? And I look, and she's just tucked into a corner with one of my neighbors who's reading her a book, or she's sitting on a lap of many of my different neighbors, and they are actually getting her to eat something, which she's often very distracted at meals. I will do another video at some point, the downsides of living in community. It can be hard to get your toddler to eat dinner at a common meal. So everyone is getting to experience life and have fun and play games and all of that sort of thing. And then at the end of the meal, you don't have to do the dishes. I'm serious. I am serious. You don't have to do the dishes unless you're on the dish crew. And then you put on some music and you have some fun and you do the dishes. Reason number 4. The cars are all parked outside of the neighborhoods. We have 3 little co-housing neighborhoods in our village. And so your kids are free to roam all around the village, and it is totally safe. There are no cars that are driving in, and the woods and nature are all around us and are adjacent to our houses and the land. And so I don't know about you, but I always had that vision. Like, I want my kids to have have a gang of kids they can run around and play with and climb trees. And that's what they get to do. That seriously is what they get to do. So that whole thing, when you're not organizing play dates and your kids are going off to play, they're not just in your house. It's so easy to just say, go outside. And they can run around, they can ride bikes. There's, different playrooms. There's playgrounds in each of the neighborhoods, and they get to run into people, and they get to roam free and be connected to nature and have the kind of adventures that I know at least I have always wanted for my kids. Reason number 5. And I'm just going to say there's like a zillion reasons, so there's probably going to be part 3, 4, and 5 of this video. Reason number 5. Your kids get to form multi-generational relationships. And I alluded to this earlier in the piece about the common meals. My little one she has so many friends and so many people who love her, and she was born here. So she's growing up in this community from being a tiny baby, and she's going to have these friendships with all different people, from big kids to adults to elders who are also adults, but maybe a subcategory. And then my older kiddo, she moved here when she was 4, so we've been here a little under 4 years. She has all these adults that she's friends with, and she likes being friends with adults. Not every kid does, but all the kids have these different relationships that they build over time with people who are like grandparents to them, or who like aunts and uncles to them. And people love to spend time with my kids. And so for my little one, there's people who spend time with her when I need to go to a doctor's appointment. They'll babysit. Or when she was really tiny, I sent a text to my neighbors one morning, does anyone want to hold the baby while I take a shower? And I got a reply within 30 seconds. And then I wrote, everyone, and said, oh, thanks, I found someone. And my other neighbor was like, oh no, I missed my chance. Because people want to spend time with your kiddos. And I will say, I have separate childcare and babysitters. My neighbors are not here doing like 10 hours a week of childcare, but they are here to not just support me, but to actually have relationships with my kids, because that's meaningful for them and it's meaningful for my kids. And I'm going to throw in a bonus, number 6. If you have values around ecological sustainability, around community, around interdependence, generosity, around working through conflict, and the huge importance of relationship and being interconnected, you get to raise your kids in a community that is infused with those values. And you're not the only one that's conveying that either. It's conveyed in the practices that we have, and the ways that the projects that people have, and the things that they learn about. And it's reflected in the day-to-day of life here. And I am in no way going to say that life here is perfect. It is not. It is an experiment. It is a work in progress. But people show up every single day, day after day, to do this experiment, to figure out how to live together, how to age together, how to raise children, how to live in this world, how to live lightly on the planet as much as we can. And as we grapple with those, we grapple together. And I really believe that in this super busy world that we're in. I mean, I'm in this busy world too, even though I live at the Ecovillage, even though I work from home. My life is so full, and I know your life is so full. And the thing that makes this work is proximity. It's not that everyone here is so special. It's just that we are so close together and we've chosen to be reliant on each other in all these ways. And so it means that we are connected. And so all the isolation that you may be feeling as a mom, because it's kind of baked into the way that motherhood exists these days, that is not the way it has to be. There are other possibilities. And this eco village that I live in is one of them. Co-housing, all kinds of intentional communities, co-living. I used to live in a cooperative house when my daughter was really small, and that's a totally other way of doing community. That's very close and connected and fun and intense. And it may be possible for you to find your way to some variation of this, because this is a total hack and secret that no one's talking about how parenting can actually be really amazing, even in this world. And if you want to dive deeper into any of this, check out my podcast, Regenerative Motherhood. The link is down below.